Last night, Cenk and I did almost 4 hours of live election coverage of the primaries going on in 4 different states. And we covered a number of races, some wins, some losses for progressives. Overall, it seemed like a pretty good night. And then we find out by today that there were actually a number of other races, generally at the state house, state senate level, where there were some progressives wins as well. And overall, it made it even a better night. Really leaned towards, hey, no, not so bad. And so we wanted to spotlight a few of those races that we didn't get to in our coverage last night. Starting off with a few members of the DSA that actually won in Pennsylvania. What do you know about that? Sara Innamorato defeats incumbent state representative Dom Costa. She got nearly 65% of the votes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I have a couple of things to say. First of all, if you're missing any of our primary coverage, you're making a terrible mistake. The ending of last night's coverage was fantastic. Check out our clip about Kara Eastman when we saw live how she'd won. You could always find all our clips on youtube.com/TYT. If you're a member, you can get all the coverage anytime you want. TYT.com/join. But just nice and easy. Any election night, TYT.com/live. We're always here, okay? Now, there was a lot of dramatic moments last night, but we also had some progressive losses. Like I was super gung-ho about Greg Edwards. He lost, and he was supported by all the big progressive groups, Just Democrats, PCCC, Our Revolution. Bernie Sanders went and lobbied for him. I found out why he lost today. Ryan Grimm with a great report about it. Ryan works at The Intercept and also is a contributor for the Young Turks. I'll get back to that in a second. But I also found out about these Democratic Socialists winning. And man, the progressive wave is totally real. The reason I brought up Greg Edwards is sometimes you get discouraged. There was significant losses in Illinois, good wins in Illinois too, big wins in Texas. So it's back and forth, and it's really interesting. But when you got Democratic Socialists, not just winning, but beating incumbents, that's a hell of a thing, man. That's not small, that's really, really big because it's an indication of the wave. By themselves, first of all, even by themselves, now there's Democratic Socialist win in Virginia, there's 2 in Pennsylvania. Even by themselves, they're surprising this day and age. 3 years ago, they would have been shocking, right? But the fact that it's happening so often is definitely indicative. And so if you like the Democratic Socialists, you're thrilled. Even if you're not in that particular camp, that means the left wave is so strong that even that portion is now actually getting into state houses.
Exactly. Well, we have a second actually. Summer Lee, also in Pennsylvania, defeated incumbent state representative Paul Costa. So by the way, getting 68% of the votes, so slightly larger margin there. But that's 2 incumbents in the state house in Pennsylvania. Dom Costa and Paul Costa both going down in a single night. So very positive to see that.
Look, it could be that there's like a local race for a dog catcher and 370 people showed up and there's a lot of folks in your family and you won the race. But in these are 6,800, that's a lot of votes. 68% is a giant margin of victory for her to get 68%. So that means a lot of people are energized and not a small group. Hey, couple of chapters of Democratic Socialists showed up and there was 20 in one and 42 in another. No, 6,800 votes. They came out to vote for the Democratic Socialists and beat an incumbent. I'm telling you, that's big news.
Yeah, look, we don't have time, unfortunately, to do their histories justice. I mean, you should look into them. But just very briefly, Sara Innamorato became interested in politics during the 2016 run of Bernie Sanders. She started a podcast to help profile female political figures in Pennsylvania and some of the struggles in getting into elected office and helping them in that way. And now she is actually an elected, or will be an elected member of the House as well. Summer Lee got involved after officials at Woodland Hills High School were caught on tape threatening and assaulting African American students. She helped them to organize the students and run for the board and win, and those officials then resigned. So, and now she herself is moving on to win as well. So both very positive there.
It's amazing, man. Now finally you're taking action and it's making a difference.
Yeah. We also have, let's see, John Fetterman won a 5-way Democratic Party primary race for lieutenant governor, making Lieutenant Governor Mike Stack the first holder of the office to lose in a primary election. So we had that as well last night. And additionally, Helen Tai won in the Bucks County, Pennsylvania House District 178, defeating Republican Wendy Thomas. That is a special election. It's not a primary. That is the 41st seat at the state level that has switched over under Donald Trump.
Okay, so now let me go back to the one loss, Greg Edwards. As we were doing the coverage live, it looked like that was going to be a leading indicator. Turns out, no, it's mainly the exception. So why did that really progressive candidate, who was a wonderful candidate, really strong, worked hard, had raised a lot of money from small donors, grassroots effort, tons of volunteers. So and for a long time, and when I had interviewed him, he had the fundraising advantage. He had more money than the other candidates because he'd raised so much from small donors. No, it turns out in the last couple of weeks, Emily's List came in and put in $1 million in Susan Wild's campaign. That's the centrist establishment Democrat in the race. And by the way, No Labels, another PAC, came in and put in a ton of money to the third guy in the race, who's the conservative Trump-supporting Democrat.
Morganelli.
So how did they spring up? It's because it turns out money in politics still matters.
Yeah.
$1 million buys you so many ads, and the whole place gets blanketed. And in races like that, name recognition is the most important thing. If everyone in that district had heard all 3 of their pitches, I'd be super surprised if Greg Edwards didn't win. The problem is not everybody got to hear Greg Edwards' stance, but with $1 million, everybody got to hear what Susan Wild was about and got to hear her name.
Yeah.
So a lot of those so-called progressive groups like Emily's List, this is some Civil War stuff, and within the party and within the movement, you don't necessarily see it, but it is really important. So Emily's List has done some good work supporting female candidates, etc. A lot of times when they're really progressive candidates, though, even if they're women, they don't get Emily's List support. They are a very establishment organization. They have a ton of money.
And more issue focused than some of these more general, like Our Revolution is not solely focused on 1 or 2 issues.
Yeah.
Justice Democrats and all that.
Yeah,
Some are a little bit more focused on very particular issues.
But if Emily's List focused on women's rights issues and reproductive rights and fought for that exclusively, no matter where they were on the political spectrum, establishment or progressive, then I would respect that and go, fantastic, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's great. Thank you for fighting for women in this country and for their rights. But they don't do that. They pick the establishment candidate 9 out of 10 times, maybe 98 out of 100 times, and then go, the progressive candidate, we're gonna bury you. So here's a pile of cash, good night and good luck. And that's what they did in this race. So it's not to say that Wild is a terrible person or a terrible candidate, no, right?
Yeah, I looked into at least her stated positions on issues. There are worse establishment Democrats.
No question, and the conservative Democrat was terrible. I'm glad that he lost, and Susan Wild will be way better than the Republican alternative. Having said all that, if you're giving to a giant progressive group, so-called progressive group in Washington, buyer beware. They might take that money and use it against fellow progressives.
Yeah. Which we always hear is just a waste of money. I mean, why get involved at that point when you can save it for the general election? Make sure Democrat wins.
No, that's a great point. Because look, both Susan Wild and Greg Edwards, 100% in favor of women's rights on every single part of that issues in those platforms, right? So why not save the $1 million? Because that's what the Democrats always say. Oh, don't do primaries, don't do primaries. Let us just anoint the people and then save your money for the general election. So Emily's List, why didn't you save your money for the general election? And again, there are many races where there are 2 women in the race and they will crush the more progressive woman in the race, right? And they don't save their money for the general election. When Democratic leaders in the establishment tell Emily's List to do something, and when their big donors tell them to do something, they usually do it, and it often has nothing to do with their stance on actual women's issues. So understand that's the game being played by some of the establishment in DC. But it's okay, overall, huge victories. Kara Eastman in Nebraska, as you saw last night. If you didn't see it, you please watch. These are exciting. She was down most of the night. In the beginning, she was up, then she went down, and then it was
super close.
Super close. I mean, it was just 100 votes, sometimes 106 votes, sometimes 83 votes separating them. And we were kidding around about recounts, and there was only 5 precincts left, and 2% left to report. 98% had come in, and she was down. And John live refreshes and goes, "Oh my God!" Right? and we did the fireworks, and so that's 2 out of 3 Just Democrats that won last night: Kara Eastman and Jess King. And by the way, Jess King was unopposed, but she had a really well-funded establishment candidate that left that race to try to run in another district because Jess was really strong. Now, that run did not work out for that establishment candidate, but whoever wants stay, stay. Whoever wants run.
Rough talked and ran him off.
That's right. And Fetterman, who knows, could run against Pat Toomey for Senate in 2022. So this progressive wave is significant, and it is rolling throughout the country. Rolling thunder. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.